So I just saw a video I've never seen before. It was a little, I guess it's a year old or a little bit older than a year. I haven't actually seen it. But yeah. Anyway, so when I first got out of jail a long time ago, I moved into a house with 4 military guys. And that's where I started working. That's where I first started working myself back into being on my own 2 feet after being completely demolished by a narcissistic person. So it's kind of hard to think about and hard to bring myself out of it, because I had some stuff. I ended up riding a motorcycle with no license in the middle of the winter. That was something I was forced to do. I didn't really have much resources at the time to be able to handle that. But yeah, I was riding my motorcycle through the snow to use my saddlebags to go get like milk and pizza at the store and wherever I needed to go. Yeah, that was kind of a fond memory, is sliding around on snow on the road and on a street bike. Anyways, so that was just my street bike. I also had an Enduro. It was like a 400 or Yamaha 1970, 71. It had blue plastics on it. I don't remember exactly what size it was. It was like a 400, 420, 460, some weird size, but it had a license plate on it. It had a license plate and I think a brake light. And what it needed running gear for like turn signals and a couple other things, mirrors I think it was, to make it street legal now. But it had a license plate on it, so it was like it was registered to be on the road. Yeah, it's like 1971, and so I picked that up, and I had that before I went to jail. I was working on putting that together so I could have a, when you're healing, a narcissist will kick you back down, right? So I'd gotten myself a motorcycle, an off-road bike, and I had my truck, so I was going to go out into the woods and go ride my bike around and have a good time. And you know how narcissists don't like it when you're healing. They want to fuck you up every time they see you moving away from the abuse that they put you through. Anyways, so they try and do that. And so I got the bike, and I brought it over to the military house that I was working on it. And kind of a funny story, because I was working on it in a garage with the door closed, and there's a Corvette right next to me, a nice purple Corvette, Stingray Corvette from the 70s. And what it was the earlier style Corvette with the more curvier lines to it, but it had the plastic rear end of a later Corvette, the later Stingray style. That was cut off the newer Stingray and put onto an older one. So it was like this custom job. Anyways, it was a nice Stingray, and I'm like in the garage with the door closed, working on a motorcycle I hadn't touched for, I don't know, probably close to 8 months, I'd say. And so I'm getting ready to fire it up. I'm like, yeah, everything's good to go. I got the gas in it, tested the clutch out, tested all the brakes and everything else out in it. Well, the cork on the actual clutch, since it sat in oil for so long and hadn't been used for so long, it had expanded, or it had locked itself to the flywheel or something. Something happened to it where the actual clutch disc had locked up inside of the crankcase. So right when I fired it up, I kicked it over, because it's a foot crank. I kicked it over, and it's a 2-stroke, right? So it's got a kick back to you. It takes a good amount of pressure to get the fucking thing going. So I'm kicking it, it fires up, it does a wheelie, and I do a wheelie right into the fucking Corvette. So I put one of the metal brake, let's see, it'd be the clutch. I put the metal clutch handle on the actual brake, the what's it called? It's the handle for the clutch release handle on your right hand side, right next to where you put your hand on the handlebars. Yeah, I put that through the top of the side mirror, and then I left a mark on his window that I was able to buff out, and a couple minor scratches along the body to buff out. But I ripped the fucking side mirror. It's on the passenger side. It's a passenger side. I ripped the side mirror right out of the door. And it's a fiberglass vehicle, right? So it left some fiberglass damage on the outside. This is aluminum. It's actually a side aluminum. This is my souvenir. I was actually gonna hang this as like a drift charm off of my car, because you can see the hole, right? There's the hole from the from the clutch handle. You can see how it fits perfect, right? Aluminum handle right into an aluminum Corvette. So it's, yeah, fiberglass body with aluminum side mirrors. I still got it. See, it's purple, right? It's purple. So kind of toasted the Corvette, but I was able to buff out the window, buff out the paint job. The door was kind of fucked because the fiberglass was trashed, but I had some fiberglass cloth, and I had some epoxy all in my storage and stuff like that. And he didn't care because it wasn't a custom vehicle anyways. His answer was, well, he looked at it and goes, huh, I kind of like it without the side mirror on it. is what he told me. So that was kind of funny of him. But yeah, I ended up fixing the door with the fiberglass on the inside, took the window out, got on the inside, put some fiberglass mesh up in there, put some epoxy on it, ground it down on the outside, and made it as smooth as possible, prepped it for paint. I think they needed to probably do a little bit of work at the paint job, but you got a quote for it. I think it was like $300 or $400 or something like that, right around there. And I ended up meeting him outside of a bar in the middle of the day to go give him his money after I moved out, because I didn't get to pay him when I was living with him. Right, I ended up moving out and having to do some other stuff, but I got this was when I was broke as shit. I had enough cash to get myself out of there, but not enough to pay him at the time. I kept in touch with him and told him I'd pay him back, and I did. I met him in front of a bar, which was kind of funny, in the same town. I don't know, probably a mile or two away from where we used to live. Shit, less than that. It might have been maybe a mile and a half, mile or two, yeah. But yeah, this is the souvenir. I actually knew somebody that had the matching mirror, a white one that was precisely like this one, matched his vehicle. So I brought him a white mirror that matched his vehicle, patched the holes, patched the fiberglass, ground it down, made it just about perfect to be painted. And then he went and I think he took it to like Maaco or something like that, got the door painted. Got the door painted for about as much as what it costs to get a cheap paint job on the whole fucking car. Which is what happens when you get a door or a whole car done at a place like Maaco. It's like a door's $300 or $400, so you can get the $300 or $400 special job, and they'll do the whole fucking car. But yeah, I got a souvenir out of that. That's my souvenir right here. So I'm kind of laughing because I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I'm going, hey, there's an old memory there in a video I'm watching about someone ripping a side mirror off, and I'm going, oh, yeah, cool. Anyways, much love.